really happy to be here with Jeremy Jones and talking a bit about splitboarding life. And yeah, I will just ask him the same questions as I did to Travis and to Xavier, and I will just go into it. What is the most memorable moment you had in the last season?
The most memorable moment I had last season was we did a 8-day, 30-mile traverse into like the deepest part of the range that I'd ever been in my home range. And then from there we tagged a bunch of lines off of that. And it's something I've been wanting to do for years and just trying to dial in my kit and figure out how to move my heavy gear that much and stay out that long was really an eye-opening experience, and it's exciting for me to be able to break new ground in my home range, and to finally do that at the end of the year last year was awesome.
We know that you do all that power stuff, and yeah, you are since many years in the snow circus.
Yep.
What are the things you really perceive in the last 10 years in kind of climate?
Well, I mean, I would say the thing that I've seen, the biggest surprise is how much change I've seen in the last 10 years. From when I started Protect Our Winters to today, I'm just shocked at what appears to be this rapidly changing climate, faster than I ever imagined. So that's terrifying. The problem is not going away, and we're just seeing more and more of it. So.
Okay, I mean the other guys had big crashes like avalanche accidents, and as far as I know you didn't have one of those which were in the media. So how do you deal with danger, pressure, and your goals you want to achieve?
Well, I mean, it's doing what we do in the mountains is truly an art form, meaning unfortunately you can't just go and get the highest level class and be like, all right, I'm an expert now. It's common to see avalanche forecasters die in avalanches, and so avalanches don't care what your education is. I am always furthering my education every year, but the main thing that I would say I've evolved with my approach to the mountains is I don't try and outsmart avalanche conditions. I'm not looking to be the first guy out there when I have concerns in the snowpack. And then technology has really helped out in the sense of like, I can go and see a bunch of snow pits or online, the amount of information that we get in a day. So if I have a question on the snowpack, I'll go on the avalanche site that night and see a bunch of avalanches that happened. And then you learn so much from that. And then so the pleasure thing for me, what's also this huge evolution is I am like so not picky about conditions, meaning I don't need great snow to have a good time. I really just truly, my love for just being out there and sliding on snow continues to grow, so it's kind of irrelevant what the snow's like for me. I'm gonna have fun out there if I'm out there doing it.
Yeah, nice. And do you work with a special safety pattern for yourself, or?
Yes, I mean I have my approach to the mountains. Again, I'm always trying to learn and be smarter about it, but I continue to evolve that, but I try and approach the day always the same way. And again, the biggest change for me, or the biggest evolution, is I'm making a lot of my decision making before I even get out into the mountains. Really understanding what the potential hazard is, closing down aspects and elevations where I will stay away from stuff and make that call before I even get into the mountains.
Okay. If you're around with guides and you have a certain goal and the guides just doesn't recommend to do? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, working with guides, I've done that. You know, when we're filming, it's really nice to have one person that's just thinking about safety. And the main thing with the guide is like, what are they concerned with? If they're concerned with some deep slab instability, I want nothing to do with that. If they're worried about me, they're like, the line looks too gnarly, I'm worried about you crashing, that is not a concern of mine. And then we'll talk about if they're worried about avalanche, then at that point we know a lot about the snowpack, how the slabs are breaking, the depth of the slabs, and so it's very rare for me to go into the mountains and say, I want to do that, and the guide's like, really, you want to do that? Like, I can't, that's not a good idea, because my head's in the game. So if I want to do something, I understand the avalanche conditions, and I have a plan or why that makes sense and is safe. So the only time I've argued with a guide is when he's like, looks like a gnarly line, I'm just worried about you riding it right. And I'm like, don't worry about that. But when I'm with a guy, we're in it together. We're going back and forth on these decisions, and we're both gathering the information together, so we're both on the same page. It's not it's teamwork. So I never have issues on that front.
Okay, thank you. If you meet up with guys like Travis or Xavier, how is it? Is there a kind of competition between you that who guides the group, or how do you deal with each other? It's just like being with friends, or how can I
Well,
imagine?
if we're, say, Travis, I've done some film stuff with him recently, and that scenario, I mean, that's Travis's program. There's so much work that goes into it. I know it, I've made the films. So I'm just like there to do what I'm told, to do. Travis is the boss. It's very important to have a clear boss on that scenario of like, this is the plan for the day, this is the type of terrain we're going to ride. If he wants my input on it, I give it to him. If there's a safety deal, then everyone's talking about that. And then same with Xavier. I mean, I've never been on one of his projects, but if I was in his backyard, I'd let him be the lead.
Projects.
Yeah, and when he's with that, we're working together on that. And really, when you have someone like him, it's just want him to express himself freely. Like if he's like, I want to go ride that thing, I'm super excited about it, I'm going to try to make that happen because we're there to highlight him. And so just, it's a pretty natural deal. And I have been with a lot of people in the mountains, and I do not like competitive atmosphere in the mountains. It's teamwork.
Yeah.
And so that has never been an issue with any rider, whether, not just Travis or Xavier. If I feel competition, I just kind of like let those people be competitive and then make sure I don't go back in the mountains with them in the future.
Okay, I understand.
So.
Right. Okay, and now I have like 10 quick questions.
Okay.
You just answer spontaneously. Heli or splitboard?
Splitboard,
Beer or wine?
beer,
Lift lines or touring?
touring,
5-star hotel or a hut in the mountains?
hut in the mountains,
Healthy food or eating whatever you get?
healthy food,
Snowshoes or splitboard?
splitboard.
Riding your backyard on new challenging
Let me know if you ever find anyone that thinks that likes snowshoes better than splitboards. Just keep going.
Riding your backyard on new challenging lines?
Or new challenging lines.
Yeah.
I like to do both of that together.
Okay, all
Both.
right. Amazing woman or a big day in Alaska? I mean, you're married.
I love my wife, so yeah, I'll take both of that too.
Yeah, perfect. So, any plans for the upcoming season you have?
Again, like for me, I like challenging myself. I like taking my snowboard where no one's ever taken a snowboard. And so my focus is in my backyard. I'm just cracking the surface on that, and so that's not changing.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.